Welcome to the Growth Lab, where business ambition meets motherhood. I'm Luba, a mom of three, a self-made millionaire, speech-language pathologist, and founder of 2 clinics and sensory play gyms and a mobile therapy bus unit. Join me each week as we dive into what it takes to grow successful business, balance family, and create real impact. I'll share my hard-won insights and bring on inspiring entrepreneurs with stories you won't want to miss. Let's turn dreams into action, build with purpose, and thrive on our own terms. Welcome to the Growth Lab. Let's build, scale, and thrive together. Let's get this party started. So welcome to the Growth Lab. And today on the show, we have Danielle Taylor. She's also known as the Hot Mess Mompreneur.
Ooh, you pronounced it right.
Is that right?
Yes.
And Danielle's a mom of 2 boys, a nurse, and the founder of Elevate Her, a coaching and consulting company that also creates events for moms and women entrepreneurs to connect and fill their tank. She also runs cool women's networking events called Brunch with Babes. So I'm so excited to have you, Danielle. You do a million things.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. Tell us all about yourself. Give me your background, and let's get started.
Yeah, so I actually went back to school to be a nurse. I got my college degree in psychology and women's studies. And then I did research for a while at Penn, and I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And the truth is that I struggled to take the standardized test, and I really always wanted to be a psychologist. And I kind of was afraid to take it. Not kind of, I was. And so
I had fears, like I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, like these fears.
You don't want to fail,
perfectionist.
and you're like, I have to take this test.
Yes.
And you're like, I'll wait a little bit and take another practice test before I go. Oh my God,
I just
hear
couldn't
you.
do it. And I couldn't do it. And I was like,
standardized testing.
I hate it. And so I was like, you know what? My mom's a nurse. I literally never thought I'd be a nurse. And I was like, I'm going to do an accelerated program because you could still do so much with it. I could go back and get my master's. And it just opened so many doors. Okay. So I did an accelerated program. And for 9 years, I was a heart transplant, heart failure nurse. And then I went into, it's called electrophysiology. It's electrical system of the heart, pacemakers, defibrillators, ablations. And we ended up moving out of the city. We lived in Philly. The city for me is New York because I grew up in New York, but we lived in Philly. And we moved to Bucks County for my son, who was suffering in the public school system with ADHD, and they were just not providing him what he needed.
Oh, wow.
And I was commuting into the city, and I said, forget this. I'm going to work locally. And I worked locally, and I realized it happened for a reason. It wasn't my passion anymore.
Okay.
And my passion was going back and working with women. And I really always knew in the back of my head that I wanted to do that.
It's so interesting because you're coming from a place where people are suffering. And I'm thinking about that, like that must have been so hard with the heart transplant. I mean, seeing people going through that type of stuff, that's not easy.
It's not easy, but really what got them through when I talk about this is connection. Like there were a lot of people that lived on our unit, women who just had babies and literally went into heart, it's called postpartum cardiomyopathy.
Oh my
they
God.
had LVADs. They lived on our unit, and it was the stories and the connection that got them through, right? The medicine of course did, but they needed human connection. And that's what I needed to do that. To realize.
So tell me, okay, so you realize that you want to do these women's connections. When did you first branch out into Elevate Her and the Brunch with Babes? Tell us a little bit about the background for that.
So I was actually just talking about this last night, and somebody asked me, like, how did you get spiritual? How did you come to this? My son was suffering. And I'm going to be honest. My son, even though we moved here, COVID hit. So he suffered in the public school system.
How old was he when this was all going on?
So he was probably 10.
Okay.
And so then we come up here, and his first year in Council Rock was amazing. And then COVID hits. Oh. And he didn't get all the things he needed for his learning disabilities, for his ADHD, just to feel good about himself. And literally he went into middle school and fell apart and was having like panic attacks to the point that we couldn't even send him to school, and I didn't know how to help him, and I felt like a failure as a mom. And now I'm a perfectionist, so literally having him really fall apart like sent me spiraling too. And I didn't know how to help him. I didn't know what to do. And I was doing everything to try to fix it. But what I never realized is I never did the work for myself.
Okay.
And I hired a coach, and this coach was like, oh, you can build your business and you can heal at the same time. Okay. Well, she was a terrible coach and it was terrible advice, but it had to happen. I had to work with her to realize that no, I couldn't build a business until I did the work for myself. And I went on like this journey to heal myself, for myself, but also for my family.
So through your own healing, education, and journey, you were able to help your son with his anxiety.
Yes, I got him treatment, but I also stepped back and realized that I was so dysregulated all the time.
Okay.
And him being dysregulated, and I don't know if you guys dysregulated.
What does that mean?
Right,
I was gonna say.
So your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight, and you're just don't know how to calm it down, don't know how to react to things, and you're just like in this state, like this all the time. And it looks different maybe for women, for men. I have ADHD. It might be your mind racing, right?
Oh my God.
And the thoughts that you're constantly feeling. But for him, it was verbal, dysregulated. He's saying things. He's walking back and forth. He's having these panic attacks, and people are thinking he's acting badly. And I had to step back and realize I've always been up here, and I don't know how to calm myself down.
I think it's amazing that you as a parent, and obviously we work with children at Kidology, and parents always come and they can't figure out right away, especially if it's a child who has some sort of behavior. And behavior doesn't always mean you're bad. It means it could mean many things. We always try to do a questionnaire with them and say to them, so where do you think this is stemming from? Because we know that the answer is from home, or there's something going on, or somebody's, God forbid, like there's a change in the environment that is causing this reaction.
Right.
And people don't want to face that. So now we're counseling the people. And it's so wonderful to hear from somebody who took that responsibility, on themselves to better themselves. Is that where the Elevate Her comes from?
It is. I really believe that everybody should do the internal work. And it looks different for everybody, right? And it really happened at 40. I'm 45 now.
Okay.
45th birthday. And at 40 it happened. It took me that long to figure it out. And it really stemmed from also like there was trauma. We all come with our shit. Let's be honest.
Of course.
We all have shit growing up. We all come with shit. But a lot of us bury our heads in the sand, push it away. We also numb our feelings so that we don't know how to feel, the right way to feel, how to react to things, how to be the calm in the storm, right? And maybe we weren't taught those things growing up. And I have amazing parents, but they did get divorced, and it was a volatile marriage, and I never dealt with that. And I didn't know how to be that parent.
Tell us about your childhood a little bit.
Yeah, totally. So I grew up in Brooklyn in a very Orthodox Jewish community, but we weren't Orthodox. And I really felt like I never fit in. Like, I'm Jewish, but I'm not Orthodox. And I went to school very far, like 30 minutes away. So none of my friends were around. So my best friends were Orthodox Jews, and I wore pants.
What a twist.
I know, right?
What a twist.
I mean, Orthodox, like they covered their hair.
Are they allowed to be friends with non-Orthodox?
Yes.
Okay.
So it wasn't Hasidic, it was Orthodox.
So I'm also Jewish, and I, which I love because there's so much going on. I want to hold your hand.
I know, my hands
like
are
special.
freezing.
Oh, I want to warm you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Being Jewish right now is wild.
Yeah.
And I am wearing my chai because I believe in life, and that's what we stand for. And being Jewish right now is so trying because people feel bad for you kind of, but they're not going to say anything. Nobody's standing in, and we've just become a minority. Did you hear this?
No,
Jewish,
I didn't.
It's on the news. If you're doing a college app now and you're Jewish, you check off minority.
I had no idea.
There's programs available for Jewish minority.
Well, it's so crazy because growing up in Brooklyn is so different. Even Philadelphia, it was a huge Jewish population. But you come to the suburbs, and it's a little different. This is my first experience in the suburbs, and like I just thought it was like Brooklyn, like everybody, but it's not the same, and it's not the same. And I feel that like for so many years, I just pushed all that stuff away. And now we're going off topic, but I started following rabbis and spiritual, like people don't understand the spirituality of Judaism. And when you say life, right?
Right.
So my aunt who's mentally challenged died a couple of months ago. And we had this amazing rabbi speak. And he said, this is the epitome of Jewish religion. And this is the epitome of what you should focus on in your life. What is between the word life?
Oh my God.
And he said, and we're like sitting there.
Yeah, like,
we're like,
so
what? And he said, if only I did this, if only I did that.
Oh my God.
Live your life. And that's why in death, we put you in a pine box. Like, we want you to focus on life, and you're alive right now. And that, I mean, I had chills when he said that, because how many of us don't live? And we always go and say if I only.
This is a little bit to my momtrepreneur topic too, which we'll get into more, but and I think we're just gonna flow because we just have so much to talk about here. We're gonna have to go for drinks after or something. No. As a momtrepreneur, and there's so many pieces, because you're guilty if you do and you're guilty if you don't, with the kids, with the work, and there's a lot around that. But learning to live in the now, that's a skill. And you can be the hardest worker, and you can be the best mom, and you can all these things. But if your life is going day by day and you're not focusing on what you're doing in the moment, like imagine you're sitting here with me and I'm on my phone and I'm on my computer, like you'd be like, what is going on? But I get to enjoy this second with you, this being present, and remember these feelings of my first podcast with you. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a skill, and they don't teach that in school. And I'm curious, when someone comes to you who's dysregulated or maybe has mush in their brain because they have so much going on, is that part of your experience teaching people that skill of living in the now? And how does it look when, say, someone like myself who's very busy would come to you and say, hey, I feel so many emotions, I can't get my schedule in order. Tell us about how it would look if I came to see you, and how people can upkeep that in the now skill.
So I'm going to tell you, people don't realize that they're dysregulated. People don't realize that we're living in the future and the past.
Yeah.
And also, people don't realize that it's really hard to be present and to be mindful. And I was not present and mindful. And you know what? Still, I mean, who doesn't struggle with it as a mom? You have like a million things.
Oh my God.
I work full time. I am building a coaching business. I'm building a masterminding business. But it took me years. And I got certified and I took a course in mindfulness meditation. And what I say to the mom is, this is really, really hard work. And you have to be open to it. If you're not ready and not open, that's okay. But being present, letting all the shame.
You have to be willing to change.
Yes. And if you're not,
it might not be the time.
It might not be, and that's okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you either. You think day to day, and I have a almost 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 3-year-old. So if they're not by my leg, mom, and let me one more second, I gotta do something. It feels terrible. But it's the reality of my life. Yeah. And it's really about learning to focus and structure it where, okay, I'm done now, and then focus the attention on them.
And honestly, I train parents, but even if you're not a mom, so I say, listen, you are really busy right now, but you're going to give your kids, they don't need hours of attention. 15 minutes
of that direct,
undivided attention.
Okay.
Undivided, where they get to choose. And it might be something like you do not want to do, but you know what? You're giving them the attention that they're craving for that 15 minutes. So it might have to be something that you don't enjoy. Fake it till you make it, right?
Oh, wow.
Put that phone away. Like, I literally put the phone away. And it's not easy for me, but
it's so hard.
I have to practice it too, right?
We're in a society of people that are busy being busy.
Yes.
We're busy. We're always busy. And if you're not busy, you're scrolling on something that's like entertaining. But it's so hard.
It's so hard, but you take that 15 minutes and maybe you start with 10 of putting the phone away and letting it ring, which is really hard, or the ding, 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 and you let it go.
Okay.
And you do that time of undevoted attention. And you could say to them, listen, mommy's busy right now. I'm putting on a timer right here. And you have to work for a half hour. And you say, once I'm done, You cannot interrupt me because it will take longer. And they're going to interrupt you and you say, okay, I'm not done yet. The timer goes off and you got to put that phone
put it away.
Because that also builds trust, right? And this is in business and in life. The other thing is, people tell me they can't do it all the time. Mindfulness meditation.
So how does one get into that?
Okay. So I could not literally focus. I have ADHD. I could not calm myself down. I could not be present with my children. And I saw this writer and speaker, and he's an MIT professor, John Kabat-Zinn. And I started following him, and he is talking about being present. And all mindfulness meditation is being present.
Wow.
So it doesn't matter if you let those thoughts flow through you. I don't teach to push those thoughts away. I teach to let it stream through you and let it breathe through you and let it go. And I, a lot of times, do recorded meditations. I love mantra meditations. So
how long, like if you're a beginner?
5-10 minutes.
5-10 minutes.
I do it.
Do you have to be in the dark?
I like to be calm. You can lay there. You could sit there. I start with 5 minutes. In the morning, sometimes I have 5-10 minutes, but now my body craves it.
Okay.
And I listen to these mantras. I listen to listen, we all have money blocks. We all have energy blocks.
Sure.
We all have mindset blocks. So we say to ourselves, okay, I'm abundant. Everything is happening with and for me. Money flows to me easily. Like, these are things I say. I am letting go of all my fear and doubt. And when you say these things, what else are you thinking about?
That's it.
That's
right?
It. So you listen to it, or I do it silently now, but you listen to it, and I'm going to start recording them finally. And
oh my God,
I'm going to start
amazing.
recording them. And as you listen to it, you say, you breathe in, I am abundant. And you close your eyes and you literally when you breathe out, all that fear and doubt, like you're watching it flow out of you. And like you breathe in again, I am letting go. And you breathe out and you
amazing.
just let go.
I am letting go.
And then when you breathe out, just watch that black cloud of air.
I
just
see
flow,
it.
And you
I
visualize it.
And I feel light.
Yes,
after,
just saying
it.
Saying these 5 things.
So is this the beginning of the mind shift?
Yes.
And tell me, so if I'm your client, for
Yes.
example, and first how does it work? What are the steps? And this is for Elevate Her?
So I am launching, it took me 5 years, but after doing my internal work, after studying, I'm going to be launching soon a group coaching program.
Oh, that's amazing.
For
Congratulations.
female founders. It's a 5 years to take it. And this is all about, so this is not making the 10K a month. This is not about thinking that you could do it all. This is about letting go of fear, doubt, shame, your anxiety. This is about stepping into your power. The reason that we quit is because of all these mindset blocks and energy blocks from ourselves. How many times you say, I can't do this, this is not working, the money's not coming, I have to take out a loan, well, that's an energy block and a mindset block. So before you build a business or while you find you're stuck, right?
Do you think everybody's capable of disassociating from that? And then that's what you're teaching them to do?
We're teaching it, but it will always come back.
Okay.
There will be...
So it's the same. You have to practice it.
Practice it. So it's always going to come back. Don't you think I was driving here and I'm like, oh God, I'm going to be late. You know what, Danielle? You're not going to be late.
You're great. You're just on time.
I'm on time.
I love it.
I'm on time, and that's okay. And you know what? Show me the evidence, Danielle. What is the worst thing that would happen if you were late? Nothing. And so these are the shifts that I'm going to teach.
You've become, so in your past, were you down in that moment and worrying yourself, and that's where you would lose the regulation?
Out. Yes.
Oh, I'm so happy for you then that you were able to, and you're so strong. You're an example. This is amazing. No, I'm serious.
But everybody could do it.
There's so many people out there, business owners especially, who get caught in that panic moment, we'll call it. And then it's like there's no going back, because if you don't break it, you build it, and that becomes your anxiety.
Yes.
So this is a beautiful tool
Yes.
And those mantras, oh my God, I need those mantras. I love that.
Oh, join. But it all starts with noticing it.
Okay.
So like the beginning step is just, I don't think we realize what we say about ourselves, how we block ourselves. We do so many things all day long about our energy blocks. Like we do these things all day that are blocking our energy from just flowing. And it doesn't have to be so hokey, right? Literally what we say to ourselves, what we do, what we put in our body, how we talk to ourselves.
Even how we breathe.
I
remember going to integrative medicine before, and I was waiting there for some time because they take, time with each person. And there was a woman masseuse in the next room. And while I was sitting there, she offered me a couple minutes massage. So I came in and she said, did you know that your shoulders are in your ears? And I'm like, no, they're not. And she's like, no, honey, not literally. And I didn't even understand that term at first. And I'm like, oh, like, am I tight here? And she said, you're carrying a lot. You need to set a timer every day. And you need to remind yourself to take those really deep inhalations and let it all out. And that stuck with me. And now talking to you, and I tell that to my kids every morning and every night before they go to bed, just to be like more loose, relieve whatever's there. Because especially young kids, they don't always talk about what maybe bothered them, and they hold it. And then you're like walking, you're like stiff. Yeah. But really, if you just, it just feels so good to just like let it go a little bit, And people don't even know that.
And this is like simple. Starts really from just watching your body, taking a body scan, right?
Yeah.
We take body scans, right? Yeah. I do it too. But you know what? I fall back too.
Everybody does.
Everybody does. But you take a body scan of yourself and you start being mindful just of all those fears, what you feel like in your belly, right? So I used to do podcasts, and I've done been on podcasts, and I would be like, like so anxious and worried, right? And I didn't do a body scan. But now I'm like, oh, okay. And I still walked in here and I was like, okay.
It's new and new place and things.
Right, but you take that scan.
And so it's amazing that you're also utilizing those skills on yourself, which just means that they work so well. And you're now able to help others with it.
Well, the truth is, every coach should be their own best client.
Okay.
And I was told that a long time ago. I'm not coming up with these new things. This is true. Every coach should have a coach. And there's no harm in having a therapist, right? Okay. There's no harm in having a mentor, an accountability buddy. We hide these things in society. We should be proud that we're working on ourselves. And you know what? We should be proud as women that we're working on ourselves, right? We deserve to feel joy and happiness and build our dream business. And we should not feel guilt and shame around it. And we're going to always have those doubts, but you should always have somebody in your corner that is going to lift you up, right?
I couldn't have said this better myself. This is amazing and inspirational. And I think when people ask me too, well, what do you think makes you successful in business? And I often respond that it's because I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly working on myself and how to better the areas that I need bettering in. Yeah. You can't grow if you're not watering the plant. The plant won't grow if you're not watering it. Yeah. But if we're constantly watering it and working on ourselves and teaching ourselves new skills, like me with my calendar, it's really a struggle. 3 kids, businesses. My girlfriend laughs at me, why do you have 2 paper calendars and you have the one on your phone? I'm like, the phone doesn't always work. I don't know. But I'm getting better because I'm conscious of my issue. Yeah. And that's so unbelievable that you're helping others with this now.
And I did a post this morning and I said, this is not something that I invented, right? These ideas, these skills, mindfulness, meditation, letting go of fear and doubt, energy blocks, all these things are not my invention. Right. But I have done the work and studied, and I will be the first one to say I've always kept it real. I've always kept it real and told the truth with my patients. It was a skill that I learned with my kids, and sometimes they did not want to hear the truth, right?
But that's how you grow.
That's how you grow. Right. And so you don't lie to people. And there's many coaches out there who are going to lie to people and say, you're making $10K a month. You're going to be a millionaire right away. It's freaking hard work. And it's work that you have to keep doing and keep doing.
Absolutely.
And you have to be honest and authentic and real. And that's what makes you successful. So that is also a part. I didn't invent this, but I really embrace it. I love it and I'm passionate about it. And that's what makes the difference.
I mean, I would work with you. I love it.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit also about the Brunch with Babes and events that you have going on, because you seem to be so wholesome in how you bring people together and community. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I did a couple of events on my own, and this is where I struggled, and I will tell everybody. I am a perfectionist, and I want to do it all, and I want to be the leader.
Sure.
And I had to step back and say, doing things on my own is making me sick, burnt out. I'm not there for my children. I still work as a nurse, and I have to be there for my patients. And
so much on your plate.
I was doing these events by myself, and I was getting burnt out. I was stressed out. I was getting sick. I wasn't there for my family. I wasn't there for my patients.
It's just too much on your plate.
Too much.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I started watching, and it's social media. I started watching this Brunch with Babes in Atlantic City.
I never even heard of it.
It's in Redondo Beach. It's small. It's smaller, and it's growing. And I started watching, and I was like, this is authentic. These women, it's smaller. It's 30 to 35 women, so that everybody gets to talk to each other and connect. So I was like, I messaged Leslie, and I said, I want to be a speaker. You're doing this amazing thing at the Tropicana. I want to speak. I went there, and it was like nothing I've ever experienced. We did a healing meditation. We all talked about our struggles, our wins, what we needed help with. We literally took our masks off and said, I am Danielle, and I am powerful, and I love myself. And I was like, I'm doing this. I have chills because it was like...
So you became like an ambassador. Oh, okay. And
yes.
So tell us about your chapter and like what's coming up.
So I'm the chapter leader. So we have chapters all around the country, and I'm the chapter leader. So I own the chapter. Okay. And so it's once a month, and it's really not networking. It's really masterminding, connection, collaboration, and support. So you could call it networking, but it really is connecting with women like this, literally like
so
this,
awesome.
And talking and saying, you know what? I'd love to. Oh my God, you're a coach. I coach kids, and you're a coach for children, and I'm an OT. Let's do a workshop together. Let's work together. Let's refer our clients. That is how you're unstoppable in business. When you let all that shit go of thinking that you can't do something with somebody else. Even if you have the same business, you can learn from each other.
Yes.
And that's what this event is. And it's every month. We do a mastermind every month. I speak. We have speakers. It's just amazing. I love it.
What types of professions? Is it specific to some professions or
any female founder, women-owned biz, women in biz?
Oh my God. So cool. Where could people find out about that?
So I have a website, Bucks County Brunch with Babes. Social media, I'm the Hot Mess Mompreneur, and there's @Come Brunch with Babes. That's the national chapter. And if there's not a chapter in your area, do it.
Make your own of this.
Make your own. Contact
So cool.
Leslie or Shelby, who started it, because it makes you feel like you're not alone, and to know that you don't need to compete with yourself and with other people.
And there's something to say towards when you're surrounded by women in business and people who understand where you're coming from. And most of them are moms, honestly, in my experience.
Yeah.
And until I started also to run in circles with mom founders, and that's how I found you. I'm so happy that this happened. But until I felt very alone sometimes, because it's nice to have some friends, but they don't understand this part of you. And this is such a big part of you as a business owner and a mom and somebody who's looking for scalability and growth, and also to like laugh about stuff and really have a life. But this is part of your life. Yeah. So you can't expect people who don't live it to understand it. And that's why it's so awesome that there's an organization like this. Yeah, and it's smaller, so we don't want 100 people, because you don't get to, everybody stands up. You don't get to do that at bigger events. So literally the first event, I was like, everybody's gonna stand up and introduce themselves and say why they're here and what their business is. And they were like, no. I was like, no. This is not a negotiable. Like, you gotta do it. This is what we're doing, because this is how you get out of your own way. And so I'm just extending my coaching and what I truly believe in to women.
all over.
I love that.
And this is what I feel like I needed this, and that's why I'm doing it. And I feel like we need so much more of this.
I love that
And
you always project all the things you're learning and growing from on others. And it's amazing because you're like, okay, I'm gaining this knowledge. Why don't I help somebody else? And I find that so amazing about you, that you want to help other people.
Thank
If
you.
there was advice for somebody who's looking to grow their business or start a business, what type of mindset or what type of advice would you give them?
I would say what you think you're going to start is probably going to change 10 million times. It's going to evolve and it's going to grow, and you may fail. You're going to get a lot of no's. You may feel lost, and all those things are normal, and it's okay. And you're not alone, because we've all done it.
Don't run when the door shuts.
Don't
just
run
go
when
to the next door
and get help.
Yes.
You don't have to do this alone.
Yes.
And I think that so many women feel that getting a coach, getting a therapist, having a mentor, an accountability person is a failure.
It's the only way.
It's the only way.
It's the only way. I'm speaking for my business will be 10 years old this May.
Yeah.
And I want to say, like 3.5 years ago, when I got my first consulting and my coaching, I was at a wall, and it has helped me move.
Yeah.
Because I was stuck.
Yeah.
And I didn't have certain skills that I've been able to get because I got help, because I went to a coach, because I got consulting. And it's the only way.
It's the only way. And it's an investment.
Yeah.
Right? It's an investment.
Agreed.
I'm not going to lie. And what I always say is, you need to pay your bills. You need to have food on the table. But those Starbucks coffees.
Oh, there you go. And what was there a meme about that the other day? Something.
Yes. Those Starbucks coffees.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you can't buy right now what you wanted to buy.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm taking this because I did the same thing. I thought I could do coaching and still spend like I was spending. Right? This was a learning lesson for me. And I'm sure it's a learning lesson for a lot of women, that we want these physical material things, but sometimes we have to invest in our growth and learning and our business. In ourselves. Yes.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Is there any particular way you would like people to reach out to you? Tell us again about your socials, so that if anybody wanted to ask you a question or get into your programs or in Brunch with Babes, how could they get to you?
I love answering DMs. I literally ask me anything about anything. I'm like one of those people, my patients always told me like their deepest, darkest secrets, And
honestly, I DM'd you.
Yes.
No, and it's amazing because some people, if you're on social media, you need to be ready to be social. I never understand the people that are on social media and then you reach out and they don't respond. And you're like, why are you here?
Yeah.
You're too cool.
Or you meet them in person and they're like these quiet, introverted people.
So interesting.
And I am who I am.
Yeah.
And that's also a learning lesson. You have to be who you are.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? I'm loud. I interrupt people. I'm very opinionated. But also,
That's what makes you awesome.
But also, what makes me awesome is I say I'm sorry and I make a lot of mistakes.
Okay.
And I know that. And what I do for certain clients may not work for you. And that's okay too. And you could say, you know what? We're not jiving, and that's okay. I'll refer you. And that's what makes an amazing person, an amazing coach, is being that. But where you can find me, I will go off on a tangent. I am on social media at the Hot Mess Mompreneur. So everybody searches Hot Mess. It's not going to come up. The Hot Mess Mompreneur. DM me any questions. I have a website. It's www.elevatehercoaching.net. And put your email in. I just started a blog.
Awesome.
I just started a newsletter.
Girl, you're going to be busy.
I am. You know what? I now tell myself all that fear and doubt about saying like, I have to stay small. I have to be small. No,
Why?
I want to take this worldwide because I believe that everybody can have their dream life and business, right? Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to be huge and that's okay.
I love it.
And people might unfollow after I say it, and that's okay too.
And that's so funny you bring that up, because as I'm starting to, grow the podcast and grow my business more and kind of this personal branding as well.
Yeah.
You do notice that you'll get some unfollows, but then there's loads of follows coming after that. So the wrong people out, the right people in.
And when people are unfollowing you, it's not you. It's
them. Okay.
And I think that's really a learning lesson. when people are triggered, and I don't like that word,
Right.
but when people feel something about you,
Instead of just enjoying. Yeah.
it's really about
That's
them.
interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. We'll have to do a part 2. Dive deeper.
Oh my gosh, I could do this every day. This is amazing, amazing, amazing.
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
We just wrapped our first real episode of the Growth Lab. I hope you
so
enjoyed
thankful.
it. Please follow. You guys will be able to read the whole translation? No. what is it?
Transcription, right? Yes, we got it.
You guys will be able to read the whole transcription in the bottom of the podcast. It's on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. So please subscribe, like, and see you next time.